Hi, everybody. So I'm Nicholas from Digital Yachts. As you can hear, I'm the French guys looking the marketing at Digital Yachts. And in today's webinar, we're going to present TZ iBoat with the iOS app from TimeZero with Antoine from Maxi, with another Frenchman. And Antoine, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Antoine. I'm working for the Maxi company, and Maxi company is actually selling the TimeZero software. So we have different kinds of products. Today we are going to have a look at our application, which is compatible with iPhone and iPad, and which is called TZ iBoat. So you can download it directly from the App Store. And we are going to see with you guys how to integrate all the sensors through the Digital Yacht instruments.
Yes,
So
exactly. Yeah, so the first part is I'm going to start over with all about Digital Yacht products. And then in the next part, Antoine will take over and will introduce you the apps, but also you will be talking about all the latest innovation from TZ iBoat versions 5. All right, so next. So the good thing about TimeZero iBoat or using an iPad for navigation is you can actually connect your tablet or iPhone, iPad, and so on to your main navigations on board. So how to do it? Next, it's quite simple. So first off, next, thanks. So all you need is what we call an NMEA to Wi-Fi server. So what is an NMEA to Wi-Fi server? So in a simple way, you got two NMEA network on board. The old one, which is called NMEA 0183, which was made back in 1983, is just some bare wires where you can connect some old sensors, GPS, depth, speed, wind sensor, and you can connect your NMEA 183 to an NMEA to Wi-Fi server, or you can connect it to an NMEA 2000 to Wi-Fi, and you can send over all your data wirelessly. So what is an NMEA to Wi-Fi server? So it's a simple product to connect your NMEA network, no matter what you got on board, Raymarine, BNG, Garmin, Furuno, and so on. And then it will send over wirelessly all the data. So when we talk about Wi-Fi, it's nothing to do with the internet. You don't need to have any internet connection. So you don't need a Starlink or 4G, 5G router. It's just a way of sending the data wirelessly. So it's much better than USB. So using an NMEA to Wi-Fi is a way to get all your data in real time to the TZ iBoat app. Next. So we got two units at Digital Yacht. So the first one is called WN30, and the next one is called Navlink 2. So what is the difference between the two? It's quite simple. The WN30 is to connect the old NMEA 0183, and the Navlink 2 is to connect the latest NMEA 2000. So NMEA 183, for those who don't know, it uses different NMEA speed. So we need to have a multiplexer, so it's quite technical, but multiplexer will take all the NMEA 183 input from GPS, AIS, etc. Then we'll combine all the data and we'll send all the data wirelessly via Wi-Fi. But if you got the latest NMEA 2000, with Navlink 2 is quite simple. It's a plug-and-play unit. It has a built-in NMEA 2000 cable. It will take its power through the NMEA 2000 network. It creates a Wi-Fi password-protected Wi-Fi network on board, which you can actually easily merge to an existing Wi-Fi network, which is quite interesting. And then the Navlink 2 will send wirelessly all your NMEA 2000 data. And as I was just saying, you can also merge it to an existing Wi-Fi network. So if you got any 4G, 5G router, Starlink on board, or anything else, you can make sure that your Navlink 2 or the WN30 Wi-Fi network merge to an existing Wi-Fi network. So then it means you can combine all your internet data as well as your NMEA data. So the next part. So you also do a range of sensors like iSense. So if you have no instruments on board for your sailing boat, us at Digital Yacht, we have launched last year a product package called iSense. So iSense is based on an NMEA 2000 network, so it's very flexible. You can add on as many sensors as you need, AIS, depth, speed, wind, anemometers, and so on. And then it's based on a small product here called iSense, which will send wirelessly all the instrument data to the TZ iBoat app. So sending all your data is very good to the TZ iBoat, but another fantastic features of the TZ iBoat is the fact that on iBoat, you can incorporate and display in real time all your AIS targets. And after my introductions, Antoine will give you more details about how to display AIS targets. But by getting all your AIS targets on iBoat, you can then work out all the CPA and TCPA alarms, so all the collisions alarms, which is very interesting. So how to do this, how to get your AIS on the iBoat. If you already got an AIS on board, then you just need an NMEA to Wi-Fi, like the unit I just showed you before, the N30 or Naving 2. But if you haven't got any AIS transponder, us at Digital Yacht, we also have some AIS transponders with built-in Wi-Fi. So the first unit is called EISTX. So it's a very entry range Class B plus AIS transponder with built-in Wi-Fi. So if you just simply need to get your AIS target onto iBoat, all you need is a EISTX. However, if you need to get all your other data, depth, speed, wind, and so on, all you need is the AIT 5000, which is a Class B plus AIS transponder with all the NMEA interface. But it also integrates an NMEA multiplexers, meaning that you can connect all your other sensors and it will send wirelessly all the data to iBoat. So it's a very important point I need to stress out is the fact that iBoat or any other navigation apps and software cannot read NMEA 2000. They can only read NMEA or 183. Therefore, for a product like Naving 2, which is our NMEA 2000 to Wi-Fi, or the AIT 5000, we need to convert it converts all the data into NMEA 183, and then it sends wirelessly all the NMEA 183 data. So if you want to connect your autopilot, depth, wind, etc., plus also getting AIS onto iBoat, then you will need the AIT 5000. And finally, but it will be a quick talk, it's for the Nomad 2. If for charter delivery skipper, we have launched a Nomad 2, which is the one and only portable AIS transponder in the world. It takes its power from a small cigarette plug or USB, and then it can be powered by USB battery pack. And by using the Nomad 2, it will send over all the AIS target onto iBoat. So for delivery skipper or for those doing charters, Nomad 2 is a fantastic product to need. Sorry. Right, next. So also great features with iBoat is the fact you can also display in real time all the radar data. And it only works with one radar only, is the Furino DRS4W. Antoine will come back to this later on. It's actually fantastic because if you combine the Furino DRS4W Wi-Fi radar with one of our NMEA to Wi-Fi server or AIS with Wi-Fi, you can then combine all AIS targets as well as radar data onto the iBoat app. So it's a great unit, and Antoine will come back later to these features about displaying and having in real-time data all the radar. So a few other things which Antoine will come back, but I want to give you a quick talk is about anchor and navigation alarms. Obviously, safety on board is the most important things. So with iBoat, you can have some different alarms. And the first one you can set up very easily by having an AIS data coming into the app is AIS alarm. So for CPA, closest point of approach, and TCPA, so time before collisions. You can set up those two different alarms based on the AIS data you will receive from Digital Yacht NMEA to Wi-Fi or Digital Yacht AIS transponder with Wi-Fi. But also with the latest iBoat app, you can also set up some smart zones. So smart zones, you will receive an alarms and some warnings when the boat enter in some specific zone, whether it's restricted, forbidden area, and so on. But also you got the dynamic moorings alarms, which Antoine is going to give you more details afterwards. So since we are discussing about iBoat navigation alarms, I also want to mention two of the Digital Yacht products which can be handy if you used your iPad for navigations. It's called NavAlert. So NavAlert is the first and only universal NMEA 2000 alarming system on board, which is very independent of your iPad or Android, MFDs, and so on. It will read all the NMEA 2000 data, and through a built-in app, so you will actually configure as many alarms as you want, whether it's based on the shallow depth, strong wind, if your boat go off course, issues with your battery, engine, battery, whatever data you got on your NMEA 2000, the nav alert can set up an alarm. And then this alarm can remotely access, you can get a text message for free about your alarms, but also on your tablet, you will get a pop-up notifications. But if you got a Garmin MFDs on board, all those alarms will pop up on your Garmin MFDs. So it's great to get those notifications and pop-up alerts about your alarms. But what is even better is to get the ultra loud sound alarms. So that's why this year we have launched Nav Alarm, which is a 100 OTU decibels NMEA 2000 alarm sounders. So it works, it's very simple. It has a built-in NMEA 2000 cable. And as long as it receives an alarms from Nav Alert or any NMEA 2000 alarm system onto your network, it will set up 100 OTU decibels alarms. So very important point is obviously about getting internet. Obviously, you guys are all, I'm sure you're all familiar with Starlink and so on. But today we wanted to talk about our solutions called 4G or 5G Extreme. And 4G and 5G Extreme is a Digital Yacht 4G 5G router, which has a built-in NMEA 2000 cables. But they're also pre-configured to work with Starlink. So if you guys already use Starlink, I'm sure you all know, it needs a dedicated Wi-Fi router. So that's why we got the 4GX, which is a unique 4G 5G router, which has NMEA 1000. So what you can do is by fitting a SIM card, Vodafone, AT&T, T-Mobile, or whatever you want in the world, you can just fit a SIM card inside. The 4G 5G Extreme will receive internet up to 20-25 nautical miles through the 4G network. But then if you connect into a Starlink antenna, you will then get internet all over the world. But what is even nice with this is the fact that you got the NMEA 2000. So through the same Wi-Fi network, you will not only get internet connectivity, but as well as all your navigation data onto your Wi-Fi network. And by having a nice internet connectivity on board, you can then use the TimeZero cloud features, which is a great thing. It means by having one Wi-Fi network on board, then you can connect all your PC by using TimeZero Navigator or TimeZero Professional software, or the app iBoat on your iPhone and an iPad, and all the data will be synchronized together. So you can do your routes on your PC, and then all the waypoints will come back onto your iPad, or data will go to autopilot. So by using a 4G Extreme, it means that all your equipment on board, from MFDs, NMEA network, but as well as all your PC, tablets, and so on, will be connected between each other. All the data will be communicating between the TimeZero Navigator or iBoat app. And Antoine will come back later on to these features. So at the end of my part about the digital products, and before we move on to the iBoat presentations, I just received one question about how to interface my 85000 to my boat Wi-Fi internet from Steve. So Steve, you can, through the AIT 5000 built-in web interface, you can actually go to the settings, and if you click on station, the AIT 5000 can merge itself into your existing boat Wi-Fi internet. But I'm going to drop you a text in private to explain you more into how to do this. But it's very simple, and through the built-in web interface, you can set up a lot of settings for AIS transponder, not only about MMSI, boat name, etc., but also about IP address, port, merging the Wi-Fi to an existing network, and so on. So that's it for my part today. And later on, if you have any questions about digital products, you can either directly contact me through the chat, or you can wait for the end of this webinar. And at the end of this webinar with Antoine, we'll be replying to all your questions about the app or about digital products. Right? Thank you. Over to Antoine.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, Nicolas, for this presentation. So I'm going to share my screen here so that you can all see my iBoat program. So let's share.
Ahí está Max.
whilst Antoine is getting ready, if you guys have any questions from my side, feel free to ask.
Feel free to ask if you have any questions. It would be great for me before I'm getting ready. I just need to connect to the right Wi-Fi, and it should be okay then.
Hey guys, give us a few minutes and then we're gonna start with Here we go, Antoine. We can see your screen now.
Perfect, that's cool. Okay, so thank you for waiting. So as Nicolas said, Digital Yacht Instruments has a lot of interest actually, because through our application, which is called iBoat, we will be able to integrate all the sensors that you have, guys, and be able to display it on screen on your iPad or on your iPhone. Just a quick introduction about our application. So again, we have this application which is called iBoat. It's downloadable from the App Store. You just need to create an account and you'll be ready to go. Also, if you need, obviously, a chart zone for your area, we have a new format, and it's actually a new feature, a new product that we released recently. We have now a new format of charts, which is called TZ Maps. And we are going to see a little bit more about that. Before, when you used to purchase a chart with us, you had to choose between vector charts or raster charts. Now with TZ Maps, you subscribe for a yearly chart that you will have to pay per year, and you will be able to display from this chart vector charts and raster charts and also Bativision. From our layers menu, so on the bottom right part of the screen, you can see a small icon with 3 different layers. And when you select this small icon, you can see that here on this menu, you will be able to select the different formats. So I'm right now on a TZ vector mode. So these are vector charts, but I can display the old scan chart raster that we have here. So it doesn't change. We still have this kind of chart. And we have also this Bativision, but I will talk about this new functionality at the end of this training. Okay. So concerning the integration of data coming from the NMEA and coming from the digital yacht instruments, we will have to connect them through the Wi-Fi, just like Nicolas said. Once you're connected to the Wi-Fi, you will be able to integrate the sensors and make a small setup inside the program, inside the application TZIBot, in order to retrieve and your position and maybe your AIS targets, get information about your speed, about the depth, and we are going to see this just right now. So let's imagine that I have here a digital yacht device. I have my AIS connected to the digital yacht device, a GPS connected to the digital yacht device, and the digital yacht device is sending me all this information through the Wi-Fi. So I'm ready to set it up in TZIBot. And to set it up, you have to select the TZ menu that you have on the top left-hand corner of the screen. You select TZ, and here you have in this menu to drop down to settings. Okay, so here at the bottom I have settings, and as you can see, we have like a bunch of advanced options concerning different aspects of the application. We will have to go down to initial setup. And from there, we will be able to set up the NMEA gateway configuration hub. So as you can see, it's already activated. This is the green button that you have here. And just underneath, you have the NMEA gateway configuration. Okay, so we are going to select this one. And from there, you can see that you can connect to any kind of device through UDP and or TCP IP. The good thing with the digital yacht devices is that everything can be set up and sent through UDP, and we actually advise to do so because the port number that is used by Digital Yacht is a port number 2000. Okay, so for all Digital Yacht devices, you will have to put the number 2000 so that you can send all the information and retrieve them in our application. Once you have selected 2000, on the blank white part that is just underneath, you will be able to see all the data, all the NMEA sentences going down and scrolling, meaning that you are receiving this information, okay? So once you have that, you will be able to just select OK, okay? Just here, fine. I click on OK, and after a few minutes, as you can see, I already have here a position, so the position of my boat, and a few AIS targets that are starting to be displayed on my screen. Okay, so this is very easy to set up. Just go inside the setup page in the initial setup, select the NMEA gateway configuration, put port number 2000 for the UDP, and everything is easy just like that, and you will be able to get all the information. So right now I have the position of my boat, I have AIS targets. From the left menu, I'm going to make it appear just right now. I have this column that we call the nav data. And the nav data will give you information concerning all the data that you can receive from the instruments, from the sensors. So just right now, I'm receiving the position of my boat. I received the COG, okay, which is the heading. I'm receiving the speed, the depth, because I have a sounder connected, and also the SST, which is the sea surface temperature. I don't have the TWD, which is the true wind direction, just because I don't have any wind sensor connected to my digital yacht device, okay? And this is why it's blank, okay? So once you have all of this information, you can also add some kind of information. As you can see, we have like a small button here, add. So I'm going to select it, and we can select any kind of data that we might be able to receive from our sensors. So for example, I will select, let's see, the heading of the boat heading, HDG. I'm going to select it. And here I have now the HDG selected from online nav data. If you want to sort the data, you can just scroll the information up or down in order to order and sort everything just as you wish. Okay, so it's very, very easy. Okay, now concerning also some other functionalities related to the digital yacht. Nicolas said that, for example, through the 4G, 5G Extreme, we can get information, we can get internet through this device. And internet with Digital iBoat can be very important for a few reasons. Internet can be very important with Digital iBoat if you ever need, for example, to download a weather forecast. Just to remind you, TimeZero iBoat has a free forecast service that you can use. We also have a weather premium subscription. I'm going to talk about this later. And you can, if you have an internet connection, download a weather forecast directly from our app. Obviously, if you're very close to the land with a 4 or 5G sharing device like your mobile phone, you can maybe sometimes get some internet. But if you're very far from the coastline and you don't have any network, this is when the Digital Yacht 4G, 5G Extreme can be very nice in order to download and update your weather forecast. So how do you download and how do you update a weather forecast? Yep. You have to go on the TZ menu on the top left-hand corner. And there you have the offline charts and weather from this menu. I'm going to select it here. And from there, you can or download some charts. with the TZ Map charts, you can download the charts and a few sales charts, for example, that you only need for your navigation. But right now, I want to talk about the weather offline data. So I'm going to select weather offline data. From there, and from the menu, so now it's set up to receive information through the Iridium Go. So I'm going to make just a quick change on this here from the settings. Sorry for that. And here we are again. Okay. So there, as you can see, we have maybe went out of the main screen of TZ iBoat, and this screen is dedicated to download weather forecast files. Okay, so what you need to do here is just to put the clear square here on the area where you need some forecasts. Weather forecast file. So for example, you can also zoom in, zoom out. Okay, so if, for example, if I want information on this area, for example, which is the south of the UK, all the coastlines in France, and a bit of Spain, I can just center my square in this area. And from the very small top right icon, you can see that you can make some adjustments here. Okay, you have like a few lines here. So I'm going to click on this guy here, and there you can see that I can download different kinds of things here. So first I can just select the number of days of forecasts or of weather forecast that I need for my weather file. Okay, so I'm going to select 5 days, for example. I can also select a different model. So the model by default is the GFS model. It's a model from the NOAA weather servers. It's totally free. This is the one that we have by default. But just to let you know, guys, that we have an additional weather premium subscription. It costs around 9 euros, 10 euros. I guess it will be kind of the same in pounds. But you can, through this subscription, get more weather models. Okay, so we have here different other models. So we have the Arpège and Arom models, which are from Météo France, and they are pretty nice because they are very much more precise than the GFS. We also have the NAMCONUS, which is restricted to the USA, for example. And we have other information with the models with a worldwide coverage, which is a WD Icon Global, or the DWD Icon Europe, which is a bit more precise than the Arpège model. Okay, so just to let you know about the subscription, it's not a yearly subscription. Okay, you can, for example, if you go sailing just for 3 months, you start now in May, and in end of August or in end of July, you can decide to stop the subscription, and that's it. You will pay like £10 per month, and that's it. Then you end the subscription, and you don't have to pay for the subscription again until you want maybe to use this subscription again for future navigations. Okay, so I'm going to stick with the GFS model here. I'm going on back, and then you can select the information that you need for the weather forecast. So we have wind, we have air temperature, cloud pressure. We also have different kinds of models concerning the waves and the currents. Okay, so I'm going just to select 5 days of forecast. I'm going to tap on download for this area. And since I'm connected to the 4G, 5G Extreme from Digital Yacht, which gives me information from the internet, it would be very easy for me to download a weather forecast file, even though I'm very far away from the coastlines. Okay, so it's gonna be downloaded in a few seconds. So it's always a bit slow at the beginning, but after that, it will be should be a bit faster. Also because as you could see just before, I had the possibility to also install and download information from an Iridium Go. The Iridium Go is a small box that we don't really use anymore, because now most people are using now internet from other devices, just like the Digital Yacht for 4G, 5G. We also have Starlink now, which is in the market, and more and more sailors are using now this kind of solutions, okay? So now my weather forecast is downloaded. I'm going to select Done on the top right-hand corner here. And here I don't have now the weather forecast file displayed on screen, which is normal. I just need to go on the layers menu. Again, the layers menu is a small icon on the bottom right hand corner, which are the 3 layers that you can see. So I'm going to select this icon. And if I go a bit below, I have a weather information here from this menu, and I can select any kind of data that I have selected and now downloaded. So I'm going to select wind, and here I can see that I have my wind information displayed on screen. So I have particles, I have the wind in color, and I also have the wind feathers in white. Okay, but if I want to select other kind of data, as you can see, I can select the wind gust, I can select the waves also here, and I have different kind of data that I can display with TimeZero. Okay, also, which is very important, I selected 5 or 6 days of weather forecast, and I can play with this weather forecast file through the time bars that I have at the bottom of the screen. Okay, at the bottom of the screen, I have like a time bar, and I can select any kind of day concerning the weather forecast. Okay, so if I'm planning to go on navigation this next Thursday at 4 p.m., I can just tick at 4 p.m. here, and I will have the information for this day, specific day and time. Okay, so it's very easy to use, as you can see. And again, you have a weather forecast subscription that gives you more precise weather forecast files. Okay, I'm going to unselect the wind so that we can have just a chart. Concerning the chart, because we have also to talk about the application by itself, we have now a new TZ map format. So again, we have now TZ vector charts, TZ raster charts, and the Bativision. Okay, so and since we are seeing here, and it's very important, we were talking about alarms with Nicolas just before. As you can see here, we have like this red line, which is the CPA, TCPA that Nicolas was talking about. So it's an alarm saying that we are getting maybe closer to an AIS target and a potential threat for our boat. And this is what we are seeing here in red. Okay, so this is the type of alarm that you can set up with iBoat, and it's very important to use AIS from Digital Yacht to get proper information, because we have the position of our boat and all the AIS targets in real time. Okay. Concerning the chart again, so vector charts, raster charts, and Bativision. Okay, and we also have different kinds of features. Okay, TZ Maps does not come only with different chart formats, it comes along with different kinds of features. The features that we can have here are the chart zones, for example. We can display the kind of chart areas, the chart zone that our boat is entering in or going out of. Okay, so I'm going to explain myself here. I'm here in France, in the Bay of La Rochelle, for those who knows. And we are going to display the chart zone. So remember, I had this column here, which represents the nav data, and I can actually display, and I will just remove a few of them here. So the TWD here, I don't receive it. So I'm going just to get rid of this information by selecting the remove nav data, okay, and leaving free space to what I'm going to show you now. I'm going to select add, and from the add menu, I can display here chart zone, which is the first option here. When I select chart zone, I have now this menu is going to be displayed on my nav data, and it will give me information about the area where my boat is in. Okay, so for example, I'm now in an area which is called Rad de la Palace, sorry, and I can select from here the nav data, this information, and iBoat will put and highlight the area directly on the chart. I also have depth area from it's 5 meters to 10 meters, so now it's on feet, but I can also change that. I can just select this area and it will display the area where I'm in. Okay, so this is a very nice feature. It gives us a lot of information concerning the area where I'm in. It also displays, for example, forbidden mooring areas, for example, or military zone, for example. So it can be any kind of different kinds of areas where I can be susceptible to get in, or also maybe give me information if I have to move the boat from the area where I am just right now. Okay. So I'm going to now remove this information. Concerning other kinds of information that I have with TZ Maps, we have, for example, information concerning the moorings. I have also a new, and see on the top of the screen, I can see leaving Rad de la Palace. So it gives me also a notification where when I'm leaving this area. Okay. I also have now, with the new version of Digital iBoat, the possibility to display AIS target online, okay, which was not the case before. From the layers menu on the bottom right-hand corner, I can select also not only my AIS targets that I receive from my transponder, but I can also display TZ AIS online. So for that, I need an internet connection. So this is where the Digital Yacht 4G, 5G, for example, can be very interested in, so that I can have always the TZ AIS online. I'm going to select it here. And I can see now that I have other AIS targets displayed in orange here, giving me information concerning real-time AIS targets. Sometimes it might have a bit of lag concerning the position, but it gives me information about all the AIS targets that are around my boat. Okay, and this is included in the application as long as you have the AIS module acquired from our application, because I didn't mention that, but if you want to display AIS targets from a transponder, you need to buy a very small module which costs only like £10, and it's not a subscription. You pay £10 once and you have it for life. Okay, but from the TZ menu on the top left-hand corner, you can select the store. Okay, this is where also you will be able to pay for a chart area, okay, for the TZ Maps area. And from the different modules here, I have the AIS module, okay, so it costs around £9, £10, I think, and it will be available for life once you have acquired this module. Okay. Concerning the radar, because we were also talking about the radar, just to let you know that we have a radar compatibility with only one radar from Fruno. The model is the DRS4W, okay, and this is a Wi-Fi radar. So as you could see just before, TimeZero can only connect to one UDP and to one Wi-Fi unit, okay? So what happens when you have on one hand the Digital Yacht, which has to connect to the Wi-Fi, and the Fruno radar, which also has to connect to the Wi-Fi? Well, the good thing is that the Digital Yacht device can merge both Wi-Fi, so that you can receive and the radar or from your radar, and the different kinds of data, meaning the boat position, the AIS targets, okay, all those data that you have from the NMEA devices, okay. So you can merge all this information from one and only Wi-Fi input, okay. So no worries about that. I can just make a quick overview about the radar information. Once you have the radar set up in TimeZero, I'm going to make just a quick modification here about the initial setup. We go on demo mode. And I will be now in another area in the US, actually in Miami. And here you can see that I'm receiving the echo from the radar, the DRS4W, and also all the AIS targets. So these ones that you can see are from the AIS online, so through the internet. But if I have a transponder connected, I will also have other targets displayed on screen. Okay, so we can merge both information. I'm going back to my position in France. Okay, good. And now we are going to talk about the TZ Bativision. So as I told you, once you have acquired a TZ map chart, you will have the vector chart, the raster chart, and also the Bativision. Okay, so from the layers menu, you can select Bativision. So this is another, let's say, overlay of the chart. And it's a bit different from the vector chart. But as you can see now, for example, I will be able to display different contour lines concerning the depth. This Bativision display is very interesting for example, sport fishing users, for example, okay? And you will be able to display like very specific areas concerning the depths, okay? So at the bottom left of the screen, we can see that we have like this kind of menu here with a blue globe with this number 1 displayed. This is the concentration of contour lines that you can display on the Bativision display. So I'm right now just at the number 1, so at the first concentration. So if I select again this blue icon, I will go and pass to the second concentration. So now I can see that maybe I have more information concerning the contour lines. But if I select the third amount and the fourth amount of contour lines, I can see that now I have much more detail concerning my area. Okay, and I can go up to 5. Okay, so here I'm at my maximum, okay, amount of contour lines. What I love to do here is not only display the contour lines, but I also love to display the depth shading in color. It will give us even much more information about the area. Okay, so from the layers menu, again, bottom right, I can display here the depth shading in color. Okay, and when I do this, here I am. So I have like specific information concerning my area. So it gives me like a very nice display concerning the depths. If I go maybe somewhere in the UK, I will try to select a nice, maybe this one. I think I selected this one because it was nice to see. It was pretty precise here. Yes, have a look at that. It's very nice. So I'm at the maximum here of contour lines, but you can see how precise the information concerning the depths are just right here, okay? So very nice for me. I'm going to select less contour lines, okay? Because otherwise my chart is not readable, I would say. But see how precise it is here, okay? This is a very nice area, for example, for the Bativision, even maybe more than the one that I have in France. You see. This is a new feature from the TZ map. So if you are very interested in this kind of display, and mostly for sport fishing users, for example, you can buy a TZ map chart. You will have the vector charts, the raster charts, and the Bativision, and you will be able to get this kind of display in your area. See in this area also. Yeah, this area is very well defined. Okay. So very, very interesting. This is the one of the new functionalities that we have with the latest version of our application. Okay. Along with these different kind of features, you can also retrieve through our YouTube channel, and I think also through the Digital Yacht YouTube channel, another training session concerning the TZ maps, and I go maybe a bit more deeply inside the functionalities concerning the new TZ maps functions. So do not hesitate to go and watch this video. It's you will get much more information concerning the different functionalities. I think this is it on my side. I don't know, Nicolas, if you have questions concerning TZ iBoat and the integration with the digital yacht devices.
No, I think it's quite clear. And as you have mentioned, our products are plug and play products, which are very easy to install, and there's pretty much no configuration to do to get all your data. And once you get any Digital Yacht NMEA Wi-Fi or AIS with Wi-Fi, you will then receive all your data in real time onto the app. And I've just got a question from Steve Parker about can online AIS give you CP and TCP? Yes, you can, but what you need to also get in mind is online AIS is not real time. It's actually a bit of delay when you receive the data from AIS online. It's a bit of delay from the real time. It's much better to have an AIS transponder because you will get in real time within a few milliseconds all the AIS target onto the app or your software or whatever.
Yeah, that's right, Nicholas. Actually, we always consider that AIS online, well, okay, is a nice feature, but it's not 100% accurate. Sometimes you have, well, lags concerning the AIS. Actually, if I go and select one AIS online target here, Amadeus, I will get information about the last update, for example, or the last server update. And as you can see, it's not a real-time AIS target. Okay. This target is here. There is no issue about that. We know that it's here, but the lag concerning the position, it's not 100% accurate. We always consider that the AIS transponder will give you the best option and the best information concerning AIS targets.
Yeah, correct. The most accurate and in real time.
Yes.
Do you guys have any questions? You can unmute yourself if you want to ask any questions, or feel free to use the chat if you want to write down any questions.
No questions?
Anybody, feel free, whether you want to ask about Android integrations or TimeZero Navigator, Starlink, whatever, AIS, NMEA and free OneNet. Feel free to ask any questions. We're here for that.
Since you were talking about Android, Nicolas, we have to know that TZ iBoat is in constant evolution. So we are trying to innovate and give to our users new functionalities and new services. Now we are working on developing TZ iBoat on Android. So it will come for sure. I hope it's gonna be okay for the end of this year. But hopefully, I think we will have an Android version of TZ iBoat for end of 2025, beginning of 2026, which is good for us because obviously we will be able to provide our application to more users. Now we are stick to iOS, which is already nice, but we are going to have this possibility to increase our number of TimeZero users and increase our community, which is really nice.
And Antoine, also about the routing. I know with TimeZero Navigator you can do your routing, but how can you send back data to your autopilot through TZ iBoat?
So I made the setup for input device. So meaning that it's when you connect a GPS and AIS transponder to the digital yacht device, so you get the information from the device. But what you can do also with TimeZero is that if you connect an autopilot, you will be able also to send information to the device. And to do that, it's also in the settings. And again, you have to go in the initial setup. And before we were selecting the NMEA gateway configuration here, you have now to select the pilot configuration, okay? So here you have like a small setup to do. Usually, I would say that 85%, 90% of autopilot use the APB and XTE information, which gives to the autopilot the next waypoint to follow, the heading, and so the XTE. Okay. So with only this two information, we will be able to guide the autopilot to the next waypoint. Okay, and be able to send the route or the waypoint to the autopilot. So the digital yacht device work in input and also in output. So we can output information so that you can follow your route through the application.
Correct. It's bi-directional. And also on your app, it mentions now, as you can see, NMEA, you can configure the NMEA 183 autopilot. But it's worth mentioning that with the Navlink 2 or NMEA 2000 to Wi-Fi, it converts all the NMEA 183 to 2000 in both ways. So you can have an autopilot on your NMEA 2000 network and still use iBoat to run your autopilot, because we will send over all the iBoat data back to your Navlink 2. Navlink 2 will convert the data from 183 to 2000 and then send all the waypoints and all the commands to your NMEA 2000 autopilot. So all our units, DN30 and Navlink 2, work in both ways, are bidirectionals, and convert the data into NMEA 183.
Yeah, that's right.
We got a question from John Antoine. He was asking if you are demoing the 3.22.
Sorry, I didn't get it. If I'm doing the 3.2 version?
Yeah, correct.
Yes. It's the latest version of iBoat. If we are talking about TimeZero on PC, because we also have a PC software which is called TZ Navigator and TZ Professional. Okay, we have more functionalities on the PC software, but on the PC software we are talking about version 5. Okay, but on TZ iBoat it's a version 3.2. Yes.
Do you guys have any other questions? Feel free, whether it's about the TimeZero Navigator's PC software, which runs perfectly well with all our navigation PC or 4GX. It's a great software.
And look at the details of the chart. I mean, the Bativision is just crazy amazing here. In the UK, I think I will make more, even to my French users, I think I will make more demo concerning Bativision in the UK, because we have like a very precise and very beautiful data here concerning the chart.
And Antoine, we have received a very good question from John about when using an animate Wi-Fi server, such as Navlink 2 from Digital Yacht, which GPS does iBoat will use as default?
You mean the GPS
GPS
from the NMEA versus the GPS, the internal GPS of the iPad?
Correct. Which one by default the app is going to use?
Okay, so as long as you are connecting a Navlink to get the GPS information, you might think that some users, they would like maybe sometimes to stick with the internal GPS of the iPad, because they think that maybe it's more reliable. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, but as long as you connect an NMEA device such as a Digital Yacht, you will get the information of position through the device that is connected to the Navlink. You cannot select the source of the position directly from iBoat. So unfortunately, as long as you connect Digital Yacht, the Digital Yacht device with the GPS, it will get the information by default from the device and not from the iPad.
Which is actually a better thing, because by using the built-in GPS of your iPad, it's a big impact on your iPad battery and also on the lifetime of your iPad. So also,
yes, this is something that I was not thinking about, but yeah, obviously, yes.
And also the GPS from the NMEA network is pretty much more accurate than the built-in GPS of your iPad, even though the iPad GPS is pretty good.
Mostly if you are using an NMEA 2000 GPS, it's very, very fast. Yeah.
So thanks for that questions, John. Guys, do you have any other questions? If you don't have any questions, also make sure, feel free to check out our YouTube, our blog. We have a lot of videos, articles about TimeZero, and on. We're gonna publish this webinar on our YouTube page. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us via our support, our website, our sales website. TimeZero is a fantastic company, they have very great outline, always replying to phone call and emails to help out a customer for their navigation apps or software. And the same for Digital Yachts. And so if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. And if not, have a great day.
Yes, just if you have any question concerning TZ iBoat, just contact us. So the email address for the technical support is very simple. It's support@mytimezero.com. Okay, support@mytimezero.com. We also have a YouTube channel dedicated to some videos for TZ iBoat. The application again is in constant evolution, so we are making new functionalities, new services, and feel free to ask us anything. We also take into consideration all the feature requests from our users. Obviously, I will not tell you that if you are asking us a new functionality, it will be ready in the next days, but we will take it into consideration. We have a backlog so that we can actually integrate all new functionalities, and hopefully we can work on it and develop for future versions of the software.
Yep, correct. And same for us, check out our website, digitalyot.co.uk or digitalyot.america.com. Have a great day, guys.